Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the crew, do me a quick favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button and the bell as well, and get notified for more videos just like this. But if you're already part of the crew, salute. So today we're going to be taking a look at these two phones right here. We do have the Umidigi A11 on the left, and we do have the Cubot X50 on the right. Now, as you can see, the build materials are pretty similar. We do have that AG matte material on both of these devices, so they won't really have any like fingerprints really, except for like you can get dirt on there. So as you can see, I wiped off, and sometimes if your hands are sweaty, you will see that on the back of the phones as well. So both of these devices do feature some really good specs that I want to get into in a little bit more detail. As you can see, we have the more pronounced squared off edges on the A11 on the left, and on the right you see the Cubot has more of a rounded 2.5D round curve edges on there, so it feels really nice. You get that polycarbonate side on the Cubot versus the aluminum side on the Umidigi, and the button placement is pretty similar. We do have your fingerprint right here on the Cubot where my thumb is, and if I just hit that, I can unlock the display right there, as you can see. So on this one, we do have the same placement. When you put your thumb there, it's a little bit different because the fingerprint isn't indented, so you have to really get your finger on there. So sometimes it is a little bit tricky to hit my thumb on there. Sometimes I have to hit it in the exact, see, as you can see, it's taken me several times to do it. So there we go, I finally got it to unlock on that fingerprint. And then on the top of that, you do have your volume rocker right here, which is actually has a nice click to it. They don't rock in the phone whatsoever, so I like the fact that these volume rockers don't rock on that device. But they have your power button on the top of this one, not the volume rockers. And then on the volume rockers are on this side on the Cubot, so you can see these are actually solid in the phone as well. They have a nice click to it. So, you know, both of these devices do have really good build quality. There are a headphone jack on the top of the Umidigi. There's nothing on the top of the Cubot. And then on the bottom, we don't have a headphone jack on the Cubot. So just keep that in mind. We just get the microphone and the speaker and the Type-C. On the bottom of the A11, we have the Type-C, the microphone, and the speaker. So let's look at the back of the phones, and then we'll look at the front of the phones after that. So on the back of the phones, you can see we do have the camera presentation that both of them do have to offer. The Umidigi will offer like a 16 megapixel, an 8 megapixel, and a 2 megapixel. The 8 is a wide angle, and on the front we have a 8 megapixel on the Umidigi. Now for the Cubot, we're gonna have a 32 megapixel on the front, and we're also going to have on the rear 64 megapixel, which is a Samsung sensor, a 16 megapixel wide angle camera, and a 0.3 color filter with a 5 megapixel macro lens. So that's what's on the front. Now when you turn these phones to the front of the display, I mean that was on the back. Now on the front of the displays, I'm going to compare the displays, and that's where the Cubot has a brighter display. It's actually going to be like one of the things I noticed about the Cubot is it's like at nighttime, it's really hard to dim that thing to really low because it gets so bright. Even at nighttime, the Cubot is bright. So you can see the Cubot is going to be a lot brighter on the display. We also do have a punch hole cut out with the 32 megapixel versus the 8 megapixel. And then you can see that we do have a 720 panel on the A11. So the A11 is going to have that, you know, 720 by 1600, 19 by 59 display. So it's going to be pretty snappy. It's also got a really nice PPI. It's about 269 for the PPI as well. And then on the Cubot, we're actually getting, you know, a full HD display, which is much brighter. So if you notice, you're gonna notice the colors are a lot more punchy on the Cubot X50. So I just want to show you that they are a lot more punchy. You're getting 395 pixels on here, and 1080 by 400 full HD 20:9 versus the 19:5.9. So, you know, this one's gonna be slightly wider. On the Cubot, it's gonna be slightly wider and slightly taller. But altogether, both of these displays look absolutely gorgeous as well. So, you know, when it comes to the processing chips, you know, both of these devices do impress. You can see that they do open apps relatively quickly. If I go to like Facebook, you can see right here, they pretty much open almost the exact same time here. So, you know, there's no issues with that. So I just want to talk about the processing chips and, you know, the gigabytes of RAM and the memory and also the battery as well. Now, what's really impressive with this device is that we do get the Helio G25, but it does play medium graphics on PUBG, Call of Duty. It's not going to be high graphics or anything like that. So I just want to compare the processing chips on both of these devices. So like I said, we are getting 3 gigabytes on here with 64 gigabytes of internal memory to work with. So it's actually pretty zippy on here. You're gonna notice it's pretty zippy on here. You're not gonna really have to worry too much when you're playing games. It will be pretty decent here. So let me just turn that off. Oh, that messed me up. All right, cool. But yeah, you can get really good gameplay, 3 gigabytes of RAM, like I said before, as well as 64 gigabytes. You also do get that IMG VR GE30 to 8320 on here. So it's clocked in at a pretty decent clock speed on here. Oh, I could have swore I had the headshot right there. And then you get, you know, 12 nanometer processing chip on here, clocked in at 2.0 gigahertz. So for the money, it's definitely a pretty good chip right here. So 4G LTE connection, voice over LTE. You also get voice over Wi-Fi as well on here. So I think that's pretty cool also. Now we can game on high graphics on this device right here, which is the Cubot X50. It's got the MediaTek Helio P60 single firing speaker on this guy, as well as 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage to work with. It's actually a pretty decent speed when it comes to the clock speed on here as well. So you will have a good performance as well with this device. Not too bad when it comes to the clock speed. 12 nanometer processing chip, ARM Mali G72 MP3, as well as 12 nanometers, clocked in at 2.0 gigahertz. So you're gonna get some good speeds on here when it comes to gaming. It's not gonna be like a gaming phone, but just under $200. It's really good for the price. So I definitely like that part about it. Really solid device as well to work with when you're just using it for basic gaming. You, like I said, you can game on high on PUBG as well. So it just feels really smooth so far. There's no real hiccups on this device. Overall for the performance, really smooth overall. Not too many stutters or hiccups on here, like I said before. So, you know, it's gonna be pretty decent for the clock speeds and everything like that. Now the Umidigi is gonna be 222 grams of weight, whereas the Cubot is gonna actually be 109 grams of weight. So it's gonna be a slight difference when it comes to the overall weight. You're gonna feel a little bit heavier on the, you know, on the Umidigi right here. NFC on the Cubot, we don't get NFC on the right here, the A11, we don't have the NFC. But when it comes to both of these devices, we both do get facial recognition. And like I said, the cameras are pretty good too, as far when it comes to your main features on here. They did add slow motion on this device as well. So I like that, because on the A9 Pro, they didn't have the slow motion. So they did add that here. And you can see right here, we do got night mode as well on both of these devices, but we don't have slow motion on the Cubot. So, you know, you're gonna get some pretty good, you know, usage out of both of these devices. Like I said, they both run on Android 11. So that's pretty cool that for the software as well. You also do get facial recognition on both of these things. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'm gonna get right back with you. And make sure you leave a comment and let me know which one of these devices you think you would pick up first before one or the other, but I'm gonna get right back with you, and peace later, crew.